measure how you feel about your day. What did you do? What did you accomplish? And what that does is it puts ownership back on you. You don't let other people dictate your number. You don't allow other things, outside influences. You decide.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the KTS Success Factor podcast for women, where we talk about challenges senior female leaders face in being happy and successful at work. I'm your host, Dr. Sarah E. Brown. My guest today is Karl Staib. He is the founder and the designer of a methodology called Dig to Fly, which we're going to learn more about. And he's also a podcast host. Welcome, Karl. I'm excited to talk about this.
Oh, me too. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great. So tell me, what's the biggest challenge you're helping leaders face in business today, and what might be the symptom of that challenge?
Oh, let's dig deep fast. I love it. Okay. I think the biggest challenge is they don't have enough time to slow down and reflect what's working for them, what's not working, and how to calibrate around it.
Okay. And what might be the symptoms of that? How would they see that playing out in their work?
I think it comes from our mindset. We are on the go. We're always trying to accomplish more and more and more. Are probably familiar with the 80-20 rule. Tim Ferriss talks about it all the time. 80% of our results comes from 20% of our effort. So if we are focusing on the right things, we are going to have great results. And that's so key, is slowing down, looking at what's going on at the end of each day, and then how to process it so you can make the next day even more productive and easier on you, so you're not so stressed.
Okay. So the symptoms then are feeling stressed or not getting the results that you want. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Okay. And so what do you see for women who can see themselves in this, women or men, frankly, who can see themselves in this picture? What would you say is the biggest mistake they make before they start working with you or get connected to your podcast, for example?
I'm working with a woman right now, and we come back to her worthiness. And this has been a theme through a lot of my clients, is feeling worthy, feeling like they deserve what they have and they deserve even better. And it's so hard. I think women, especially, I think, they're raised a certain way, but boys too, I think, and men, it's just, we think like, especially if something good happened to us, what's the first thought we think? Here comes something bad around the corner. And it hurts us, it stops us. And we don't take action on those things that are really going to make a powerful impact in our careers because we're afraid.
Okay. Well, I can resonate with that worthiness thing. I see that a lot in my practice as well. So what is the number one free and actionable tip you can give our listeners today to help them deal with this challenge now?
So what I put together is a process called the Dig to Fly method. But what I've realized is you need to start off with baby steps. So I put a simple process routine together at the end of each day. What I want people to do is rate their day. But before they do, they have to ask themselves two questions. And questions are very simple. What are 3 things I did well today? What could I do better? And how could I do better? Right? So you have to, and comes back to Edward Desi's principles, is what you need to do is you need to set yourself up, right? If you beat yourself up all the time, you let your inner bully out, you are going to give yourself a bad rating. So what you have to do is you have to prime yourself. You get 3 positive things you did well. And then what could you do better? Then you give yourself a rating. And that rating's on a scale of 1 to 10. And because, as you know, Drucker always says, the management specialist from, I think, 50s and 60s, still revered today. If you can't measure it, you're not going to improve it. So measure how you feel about your day. What did you do? What did you accomplish? And what that does is it puts ownership back on you. You don't let other people dictate your number. You don't allow other things, outside influences. You decide, because life is about 99% perspective. And if you can find the right perspective, you can find a way to focus on the things that are important to you.
I love it. So one of the key premises in my program is taking 100% responsibility. And that's just what you were talking about. And you gave a couple of really good ways to do that. 3 things you did well. What could you improve? And how do you measure it? How do you feel about your day? That actually customizes it, makes it unique to you. That's great. So what's a valuable free resource you can share predominantly with the women that are listening today to help them understand this challenge better?
So if they go to my website, digthefly.com, I have a one sheet that breaks it down. It's like a mini guide that shows them how to make this routine a regular thing that you do. Because, like we talked about before we started recording, the people listening are super busy. They're, trying to juggle so many things. And it's even just taking 5 minutes to do this simple routine sometimes seems like too much. What I found with my clients is just taking that 5 minutes can make a huge impact. So if they want, they can download the one sheet and they can fill it out. And what I suggest is try to do it for 7 days and then start to see that number. Because I had a client that she was like, I did a 5, a 6, and a 5. And I was like, well, how do you feel about that number? And she's like, because it's about a little over 5.5. And she's like, I was pretty good, a pretty decent day. I was like, so you're happy with about a 5.5? And she's like, no. And she realized she needed to make some changes, because when you look at it, when you have to put a number on it, you can't sway yourself. You have to be honest, and you got to look at the data.
I get it. Okay. Well, that's where I'm going as soon as we finish this. And just to reiterate it, digtofly.com. It's right there on your homepage.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So Karl, what's one question I should have asked you that will help our audience take action to address this challenge? And then would you answer the question?
Yeah, I think one of the things to ask is, how can you build these habits and these routines to help you process your thoughts and emotions? Because life's about emotions. At the end of the day, it's how we feel. It's not how many things did we check off our to-do list. It's not how many promotions we've got in the past 5 years. It's not any of those things. It's not how much money we got in a bank. You might have $1 million in stock in your portfolio, but you are an evil, twisted son of a gun that beats yourself up at the end of every day. That's not healthy. You're not going to live as long. You're not going to be a good family member, as good of a family member as you could be. So how are you taking time to process those thoughts and emotions? I suggest, people should see a therapist. People should hire coaches and consultants so they have that outside perspective. But like we talked about, is coaching themselves. How are they taking that time to coach themselves and really process everything going on, get it out so they can go to bed with a clear mind and have a good night's rest and wake up with more energy?
What a great idea. Great idea. Well, like I said, that's where I'm going as soon as we finish. Karl, thanks so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you. I had a blast.
Thanks for listening to the KTS Success Factor podcast for women. If you like what you are hearing, please go to iTunes to subscribe, rate us, and leave a review. And if you would like more information on how we can help women in your organization to thrive, then go to www.sarahebrown.com. You can sign up for our newsletter, read show notes and learn more about our podcast guests, read my blog, browse through the books, or contact us for a chat. Goodbye for now.